Pickleball is a fun sport, and that's why I was playing the other day, even though I broke my collarbone, but I was playing left-handed because it's fun. The thing is, people are always talking about how they get injuries and this and that, and they're not able to play as well as they want to or they could because something hurts. So in this video, we'll go over the 3 most common injuries in pickleball and how to fix them. The first injury that we'll talk about is the Achilles and the ankles. So the Achilles strains happen often because of the fast acceleration, but also the ankles get injured because you're making lateral movement this way, that way, moving all around, backing up. And if your ankles aren't strong, they're gonna have the risk of rolling or just being very sore at the end of it. So the best way to go forward with this so you don't have these ankle or Achilles problems is very simple. Doing calf raise on a slant board, going up, controlling back down, going up, controlling back down, all the way to the bottom. You wanna keep the knees straight for one variation, but then also train the calves with the knees bent. So pushing forward, going through. It's also why this machine is here, because if you have one of these at the gym, it's very useful to use. You can get a deep stretch at the bottom in the Achilles here, and then work on pushing through. This is gonna mirror the action that you do in pickleball, more similar, where you're lean back and then you gotta push forward. Bent knee, stretch on the Achilles, but there's a lot of force going through it. If that's not strong enough, you get a little pop. The movement back and forth, you can check out my ankle video that talks about different ways to train the ankle, from inversion, eversion, heavy farmer's carries to the sledding stuff. All of that stuff is gonna help you more than just this, but this is the best way to start. Just start doing calf raises, straight leg, and bent knee, and you'll have much better success with your ankles. The second extremely common injury is knee pain or knee injuries from the fast acceleration and deceleration in pickleball. So if you're in the back and you got to get up to the line at the kitchen, you're going to move quickly. And if you don't want to lose, you're going to probably move quicker than it's safe for you to do if you're not prepared with it. The problem as well is that you have to decelerate once you get to the kitchen. So if there's a line right here and I have to just stop right there, which is how pickleball is played, then you have to stop abruptly as fast as you can after you just accelerated as fast as you can. So the knees take a lot of force from acceleration, just like the ankles, but then the deceleration as well, the knees get a lot from that. So what we're gonna do here is, if you're already injured, then you should probably start with backwards sledding. Just moving backwards, getting the knee over the toe. And you can see here that I'm pushing through the toes. If you could do it barefoot, it's even better. But just getting this motion in, a lot of repetitions will help the knees. But after that, you can start training step ups, moving through, just a slight motion. See it on this side, moving down. And then as you put your leg out, there's more bend in the knee. Your knee gets further over your toe. You can also raise this foot up on a platform, and that's where you'll get a good stimulus for the knee to have long-term change and less risk of the knee. Also, you want to train long range movement with the knee. So doing a split squat, going all the way forward, opening up the hips is all going to help as well. The other thing that most people don't realize is that if your hips are bad, your knees are going to take the blunt. So as you're doing the split squat, you're getting 2 benefits. One, in the knees, but also starting to get the hips to open up a little bit. It will improve your swing power because it actually comes from the hips. It's not arm. So if you swing through the hips, you're going to get a lot better success. This is a little sneak peek on how to get better at pickleball as well. But we just want to get you pain-free because you'll play the best pain-free. And the last injury we'll talk about that is probably the most prominent that I see is the elbow injury or the elbow ache, or the problems with the elbows that all correlate from the grip. So in all racket sports, or gripping sports you can even say, there's issues with the elbow because the grip has a repetitive pattern. All of these issues are overuse issues with pickleball because it's not like one time you notice that it popped, sometimes with the knees or the Achilles, but most of the time it's like one day it just started hurting and then it never got better and it just continually got worse. So we're trying to reverse the patterns out that you do in pickleball in the gym, so that way when you go to pickleball you feel good. So with the elbow, we have to hit a bunch of different angles of grip. So the one that is the most important is finger extensions. So opening up the fingers, you feel all of this stuff working here. And it's really important because when we're playing pickleball, we're gripping and we're swinging through, constantly gripping as pretty much as tight as you can to make sure the paddle doesn't go flying. It doesn't need to be extremely tight, but you are having some force go in. You're in. So we need to open up the fingers. This will be huge. A way you can do it if you don't have one of these bands is you make a fist, you pull it as tight as you can into your chest, keep it into your chest. You're flexing brachialis as well, which we'll talk about after. And then you open up the fingers just like this. You can do this right before you play some pickleball and it will help you. Not a promise that it's going to feel the best for the whole time. You're doing a very minor thing, but if it helps a little bit, think about how much it can help in the long run. So the other way that you can start doing grip work is doing squeezing, but squeezing in different ranges than you normally do. So you're normally gripping a handle, but if you start doing it one finger at a time, or just the fingers like this, or just working on the thumb, all of this is different angles, which trains the muscles a little differently in the grip. You can also do it while you have your wrist flexed, and it will feel completely different, or extended, opening it up. You're gonna feel the muscles differently while you train the grip. A very basic gripper that most people have seen is here, squeezing down, going through it. Much more normal, but also good to get repetitions into the grip. And also you can pulse it in the outside, getting blood flow to the forearm. I wouldn't use this as much because you're already doing a lot of squeezing. You're already gripping a lot with the pickleball paddle, but it can help getting some blood flow in there. And also, again, you can do it while you're flexed, while you're extended, and you'll feel how much harder. You can see this flexed. I can not even close it, but when I'm straight, it's quite easy. So this is also the arm that collarbone broke. So the grip's a little off. The next section, or next part of this, is working the brachioradialis. It's probably one of the most important for longevity. If you're gonna play a ton of pickleball for a short amount of time, this is probably what's gonna get messed up. You can probably get elbow pain right through here. So if you can train that muscle before you start with reverse curls, super good. You can also eccentrically overload it with a Zotman curl, rotating at the top and then controlling down. Keep this really slow, and you can load these heavy as you go through it, but if you already have elbow pain, you need to start this really light because it's actually targeting the exact area that you have a problem with. Last thing that I've had the most success getting people to do for the elbows and seeing the results very close to instantly is working on their pronation, supination, radial flexion, and ulnar flexion. As they go through these movements, they get different repetitions and they'll find that one is the most difficult. My mom had a ton of elbow pain and she couldn't really play pickleball because of it, but she also played softball, which is really where the elbow pain stemmed from, but it just started to disappear a little bit. And when we started playing pickleball, it came back. I had her do these movements with a hammer, not even with the special equipment, but just with a hammer while she was watching TV. She's like, in a week, she already felt better moving through it. So you can pause, you can hold, you can go through all these different ranges. If you choke up on the weight or the hammer, it's going to be easier. And then you can also go down. It'll be more difficult, and you can train for longevity versus just trying to get pain-free. But longevity is also pain-free. So to wrap this all up, the biggest reasons people are not good at pickleball is because of the pain that I just talked about. They can't move how they want to because their body is in pain. But the other reason is that their hips don't move properly. So if you want to see a video specifically on how to get your hips to move properly so you can actually swing and feel good while you move, I can do that. Just comment below and I'll make that video for you. So subscribe, like the video, and there's going to be more content just like this coming out in the future.